Welcome to The Explainer. We're jumping right into some absolute game-changing clinical findings today from Dr. Alan Mandel. He's an oncologist and cancer prevention researcher with nearly 3 decades of experience under his belt, and what we're looking at is how to demystify cancer prevention after age 50. We're going to break down 5 completely free, highly actionable, and biologically proven daily habits that you can literally start using today.
Now, to really wrap our heads around how powerful these habits are, we've got to work at the data. Back in 2022, researchers at Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health published this incredible study in JAMA Oncology. They tracked over 135,000 adults across 2 entire decades. And what they found was mind-blowing. Adults who consistently practice a specific cluster of daily lifestyle habits reduced their overall cancer risk by up to a staggering 61% compared to those who didn't.
As Dr. Mandel points out, 61% isn't just some tiny marginal improvement. It is literally the difference between a cancer diagnosis and a clean bill of health for hundreds of thousands of people. We're talking about a life-altering cellular transformation here. So, we're going to count these habits down today, starting with some foundational daily shifts and finishing up with a heavily underestimated master lever that supercharges everything else.
All right, let's kick off our countdown with habit 5, whole foods. We really need to understand how the actual makeup of the food we eat directly impacts our cells' ability to fix and repair themselves. Because look, it's not just about weight loss. It's about giving your cells the exact tools they need. The hidden mechanism here is called DNA mismatch repair. Think of it like your body's ultimate built-in spell checker. It catches errors in your genetic code right before they turn into dangerous mutations. But here's the catch. After age 50, the efficiency of these repair enzymes naturally drops by about 30 to 40%. And when you eat ultra-processed foods, like those packaged snacks or deli meats, you flood your cells with inflammatory compounds called AGEs. That directly knocks out these already weakened repair enzymes.
To see the real-world power of changing this dynamic, just look at Sandra. She's a 58-year-old patient of Dr. Mandel's who came in with elevated inflammatory markers, specifically her C-reactive protein and low-grade mucosal inflammation. By simply ditching the ultra-processed staples and swapping them for whole foods with absolutely zero other interventions, her CRP plummeted by 44%. And even better, a follow-up colonoscopy showed a complete reversal of that inflammation.
So what's your actionable, zero-cost move today? It's just one concrete shift. You don't need to throw out everything in your pantry right now. Just replace one ultra-processed item in each meal with a whole food equivalent. Trade that boxed morning cereal for some oatmeal with berries. Swap out the packaged snack for an apple and a handful of walnuts. Swap the processed deli meat for grilled chicken. It's a simple change, but it drastically lowers your systemic inflammation, giving your internal proofreader a much-needed chance to catch up.
Moving right along, we arrive at habit 4, anchor sleep.
Guys, this is easily one of the most underrated protection strategies in modern oncology. Almost no one over 50 consistently practices this, which is wild because your immune system completely relies on a specialized internal security force called natural killer, or NK cells. Their entire job is to patrol your body, spotting and destroying early-stage cancer cells. But here's the biological reality. NK cell activity is almost entirely regulated by deep, slow-wave sleep. And after age 60, the proportion of that slow-wave sleep naturally drops by about 50%. If you don't actively protect it, your internal surveillance system is left severely weakened. Consider Robert's story. He's a 63-year-old retired engineer who was functioning on just 5 to 6 hours of really fractured, broken sleep, and he had developed a precancerous polyp. By finally prioritizing his sleep architecture, Robert successfully doubled his restorative deep sleep stages. The end result? A massive 38% increase in his NK cell count, which they measured directly through follow-up blood work. And Robert achieved this through a very specific step-by-step sleep hygiene protocol. He hard committed to a 10:30 p.m. bedtime. He enforced complete device darkness after 9 p.m. And yes, that means literally putting the smartphone away in another room. He kept his bedroom at a very cool 67 degrees Fahrenheit, and he added a magnesium glycinate supplement. This is exactly how you build an environment where that crucial slow-wave sleep can actually happen. But the real secret sauce here is establishing what sleep researchers call anchor sleep. To start optimizing your own immune surveillance tonight, commit to the exact same wake time every single morning, even on the weekends. Your wake time anchors your circadian rhythm way more powerfully than your bedtime does, and it locks in those vital sleep stages.
Up next is habit 3, purposeful movement.
Let's completely reframe that dreaded word, exercise. You can totally forget the grueling gym sessions and heavy weights for a second. The biology here is all about a growth hormone called IGF-1. Now, IGF-1 is super useful when we're young and growing, but when it's chronically elevated later in life due to sedentary behavior, it acts like literal fertilizer for cancer cells. But here's the amazing part. Just moderate movement reliably lowers IGF-1, while simultaneously turning on a protein called p53, which acts as your cell's powerful internal stop signal against malignant growth. We can see this super clearly with Eleanor. At 71, she was largely sedentary because of arthritis, and she was dealing with a lot of post-cancer anxiety. She definitely avoided the gym, but she started a purposeful daily movement routine that was tailored to her specific abilities. By just staying consistently active throughout the day, her dangerous IGF-1 levels dropped by 23%, and her oncologist even noted significantly improved NK cell counts.
If you want to harness this biology for yourself, steal Eleanor's routine. Take a 20-minute brisk walk after your largest meal, try standing up while watching evening television, and set a timer for 5-minute stretch and walk breaks every hour. Walking right after a meal is particularly potent because it specifically squashes the glucose spikes that cancer cell metabolism loves to feed on.
Which brings us to habit 2, regulating stress.
Listen, stress management is not just some soft, fluffy wellness buzzword. It is a critical, measurable clinical intervention that tackles one of the absolute most under-discussed drivers of cancer after 50. The main culprit here is cortisol. When you're dealing with persistent, unresolved stress, your cortisol stays chronically elevated. This physically suppresses the expression of critical DNA damage repair genes, like BRCA1 and BRCA2, and it massively upregulates inflammatory pathways. Essentially, chronic stress is commanding your body to keep precancer cells alive rather than naturally eliminating them. This hidden biological stress was exactly what was happening to 66-year-old David. He honestly thought he was pretty relaxed, but his blood work told a different story: an inverted cortisol rhythm and a really high allostatic load. By simply utilizing a structured, daily relaxation protocol, David dramatically normalized his cortisol rhythm and dropped his tumor-promoting inflammatory markers, specifically NF-kappa B, by 31%. You can adopt David's minimum effective dose today. It's so doable. Start with just 12 minutes of mindful 4-7-8 breathing each morning. Then, add a 15-minute completely tech-free evening walk, and prioritize at least one weekly social dinner. Just 12 minutes of consistent, slow breathing has been clinically proven to measurably drop your salivary cortisol levels and bump up those NK cell counts.
And finally, we've made it to habit 1, the master lever.
This is the habit that unifies everything we've talked about so far into a single, zero-cost intervention that is absolutely crucial for anyone over 50. The biological mechanism behind this master lever is autophagy. Think of autophagy as your body's deep internal diagnostic and cleanup cycle. It actively identifies, dismantles, and recycles damaged cellular components, including pre-malignant cells. But because modern eating patterns mean we are pretty much constantly consuming food from morning till night, we almost never enter a fasted state. Because of that, this critical cellular cleanup declines sharply as we age, allowing those dangerous cells to just sit there and accumulate. Michael is a prime example of how to fix this. At 61, he had precancerous colonic polyps, and he was eating across a 16-hour window every day. By simply narrowing his eating window down to 10 hours, meaning he only ate between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., without changing a single thing about what he ate, he completely resolved his low-grade precancerous dysplasia, and his autophagy markers, which they measured through a special research panel, surged by an incredible 53%. Establishing a consistent 10 to 12-hour eating window acts as a master lever because it powerfully, physically amplifies the biological benefits of every single habit we've covered in this explainer. Time-restricted eating reliably lowers that IGF-1 growth hormone. It reduces cortisol disruption. It increases the depth of your slow-wave sleep, and it radically drops systemic inflammation. It literally ties your entire biology together. So the science is crystal clear. Your cells are not fixed, and your risk is definitely not sealed. It is never too late to shift the conditions inside your own body. So I've got a question for you. Which of these 5 transformative habits are you going to claim for your future self this week? Drop your answer down in the comments. Let us know what your biggest obstacle is. And hey, thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. We'll see you next time.